3 for 5 at OneYoungsta is recorded live in front of a mythical audience. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta bringing you that street geek and nerd soul. And check it, it is Wednesday. I know, man, I should have got this joint done Tuesday. I'm beginning prep for San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm just telling you, man, there is so much to do. So much. But the good thing is I will be down there to see y'all at San Diego Comic-Con. I can't wait to see all your sunshiny faces. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today is my second half of Voltron. I reviewed the first half of Voltron. And I know sometimes it takes people a couple of weeks to kind of like get through a series, no matter how it's released. Everybody doesn't have time to kind of like just get all into it so quickly and finish it so quickly. So I held off for my second half. So this will be covering like episode 6 or 7, I believe, all the way through the end, which is episode 11. And I actually thought there were going to be 13 episodes, but I was definitely wrong because it went by so fast I almost missed it. But let's go and get into it. Voltron is just good, man. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great return for the series. I think it's animated well. I love the voice acting cast. I can't praise them enough, and I praised them a lot in the first half of the series too. Now, some of the things that were like a few pain points for me is that the second half did seem to slow down and drag a bit as far as like animation. I mean, not animation, as far as action is concerned. It just seemed like the action wasn't as, impactful, or it wasn't as, the stakes didn't seem as high as I thought they would be. Now, the finale was really dope. I love the fight scene between the Red Lion and I can't remember his name now, the main villain. His name escapes me, but I really loved that fight scene, and it really came through. But I thought the way that it ended left a little bit to be desired. It just seemed like, it just seemed like they could have went a little harder, but that's a very small thing. This is, a show that I definitely enjoyed the fight sequences. I love the way Voltron is always like in some ill pose after the fight scene. I'm loving the general voice acting where the people are, you kind of believe these, you believe these characters because these voice actors are putting like a lot of love into their work. And it's just animated at a high quality, man. So I still, all in all, after watching this series from front to back, I'd have to give this an A-. I still believe in this series. I still can't wait to see what they have coming next. And usually the first season is always the season that's a little slow. There were a couple of things where I was like, this is cliche, that's cliche. But looking at it through the eyes of who it's geared towards, this will be the first time they see that plot point, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe only the second time. So I'd have to, A-. This joint is, I hope it's here to stay. I can't wait to get season 2 of it and see how it pans out, because it is really, 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 it's really, exceeding my expectations, because the only things that I'm not too keen on are stuff that all animated series do. So I'd have to say that I'm thoroughly impressed. I enjoyed the show. I can't wait to see more from it, where they take it. I can't wait to see them try to rescue the princess, and how that works out, and maybe how their dynamic changes, because we've already seen a little bit of animosity between all of them because she was kidnapped. Well, she wasn't really kidnapped. She had to save the Black Lion. Well, the pilot of the Black Lion to kind of like save, I guess, the movement. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see how they mount their offensive for their kind of like, I guess, rescue mission, and how that shakes out for all of them involved, really. Will they change sides? Will race relationships become strained? I'm really, really interested to see how they work with that as far as working together. But anyway, all right. Now we're going to talk about Sega a little bit. A while back, Sega was talking about possibly putting out some films and putting some money behind some option deals to make films out of the video games that they hold like the rights to. And a lot of people are probably thinking, oh yeah, Sega movie, a Sonic movie, that'd be perfect. But with Wreck-It Ralph already killing it, I'd actually like to see them go another route. I'd like to see them go one animated route and one live action route. The animated route, I would love to see a movie based on Ready to Rumble. I think an animated movie based on Ready to Rumble, which showed like some child level action in the boxing, and got all those funny characters and crazy characters kind of like behind the scenes of their lives and boxing. It will almost be kind of like watching wrestling or something like that, and how they set it up. And I think it could be really, really funny, and I think it could be something where it could be very relatable as well. People love sports movies, so you can have your little inspiration in there. You can have a lot of comedy in there, and you can have your message of overcoming. You can have like Afro Thunder in there. And maybe even though he's a little bony guy, he can pull through and he can tackle the heavyweights or something like that. Then my next one that I would think about as far as doing live action. Oh, also back on Ready to Rumble. I think you could easily have like a series of these. It could almost be like a Rocky kind of thing. As long as you don't overdo it. As long as you don't Shrek it up. And what I mean by Shrek is, Shrek was a great concept and a great few movies, but they drove Shrek into the ground. And I think that's what burned that franchise. So if they could just kind of like come out with the series, and maybe like once, every three years or something, come out with a new movie, maybe based on another character in an anthology type style or something like that. I think it could keep the kids interested and be pretty fun. So back on the live action pick that I was thinking of is Altered Beast. I think for live action, I think there's something there. I really do. I think there's something there for Altered Beast that film in general hasn't exactly tackled yet. There's nothing that hasn't been done in film, but I think this is like a slight that they haven't really taken on yet. So I think this could definitely be something that could be really dope. I remember playing Altered Beast, and it was extremely fun. And you kind of get your mystical, supernatural, sword and sandal-ish kind of thing going on. So you got your fantasy, you got your sword and sandal, you got some supernatural elements. I think Altered Beast could be a really, really dope just film altogether. Of course, with the caveat of, every film, it has to be in capable hands, like a director that, knows how to, shoot well, a director that knows how to handle, certain projects and things of that nature. But I'd have to say Altered Beast could be an amazing kind of like adventure, action, sword and sandal kind of film where it could really, really just crush at the box office. I truly think that when I think about Altered Beast and how dope the game was, and just imagining that on the big screen, I think that joint could really, really blow the box office away. Because I think you could do some really cool tricks on screen with Altered Beast in general. But yeah, those are my picks, man. I think, an animated Ready to Rumble, and then a live action Altered Beast. I think, Altered Beast is still a cool name, so I think those two could be a great pick for Sega films. And, chop it up below. Let me know what you think because, I'm just some crazy kid that loves movies. Yoshi versus Tails. I was kicking it with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and we were just talking about like who is the best sidekick between the two. People always talk about Sonic and Mario, so I was interested to know what you guys thought of who is the better sidekick. Is Yoshi the better sidekick? Is Tails the better sidekick? I think I'd have to take, and I know because I love Sonic 2. I love Sonic 2. Before this even starts, I love Sonic 2. Probably one of my favorite video games of all time. But I'd have to give it to Yoshi. I think Yoshi is a little more useful. When you play Sonic 2, Tails really just follows you around. I'm sorry. Tails just does what you do, but he doesn't. He's not as useful. Like he can't go get things and like it. He just doesn't help out as much. Now in the animated series, Tails drives flies the plane and stuff. And, he comes in handy that way. And then he also comes in a little more handy in like the subsequent Sonic games, sorry. like 3, 4, 3, Knuckles and not Sonic Adventure, but I can't think of the name right now. But Tails does. It's not that he's useless. You know what I'm saying? I just feel that, I don't know, man. Yoshi, whenever I play the Mario game, I do feel that Yoshi is way more useful than your boy Tails. Tails is just along for the ride. He just wants to hang out with his friend. Yoshi is willing to get his, I guess, paws in the dirt, or whatever, because since he's a little baby dinosaur, he's willing to get his paws in the dirt or claws in the dirt and, help out, you know what I'm saying? Using, he grabs little apples, you know what I'm saying? You can use them to jump on top of the little turtles and stuff. Like, dude can help out. And you can even jump off of him and sacrifice him if you need to to get to a certain plateau. So by a large margin, and this is just going from when they were first introduced. So I'm going by like Tails from Genesis and Yoshi from Super Nintendo. So at that point in time, I'd have to say I have to give it to Yoshi by a large margin. Like Yoshi just, man, dude is nice. Yoshi is like, he really, really, like at first I thought he was like a dumb character like when he first came out, but Yoshi is definitely, in my opinion, better than Tails. I think Tails is cooler, but I think Yoshi is more useful, if that helps at all. Like, I look at Tails and I'm like, oh, Tails is kind of cool. He got the 2 tails. You start running and he starts spinning and stuff. He can fly and stuff. But then when I look at like, what has he done? Like, what does he actually do for Sonic? And when that comes into play, I've got to say, man, Yoshi is the more useful character. Yoshi is the better sidekick. Like, that dude really, really makes a difference on the team, and he makes a visible difference. Like, the advantages that he brings along with himself is way better than the advantages that Tails brings along just flipping and doing everything that you did. Because he doesn't go grab other rings. He doesn't go kill other enemies. And he's really behind you instead of being with you all the time. Which is, unless you play 2-player, which is a whole different thing. But I'd really have to say that it's Yoshi. It's Yoshi for a myriad of reasons. Tails, I still love you. Sonic 2, you still probably one of my favorite games. Probably top 3. Right up there with like Streets of Rage 2 and stuff. But, even though you're cool, Tails is definitely cooler. I'd have to give it to Yoshi. Yoshi is that dude. So anyway, chop it up below. Let me know whether I'm right or wrong, even though I know I'm super right. Anyway.
3 for 5 at OneYoungsta is brought to you by A Full Tang Design. Also sponsored in part by Naswip and Xrifo.
Sweet